Okay, wonderful. The model we will be folding is a Memo Pad Holder. The only one I had with me is unfolded right now, so I can't really show you it. I'm sorry, but it's it's not a complicated model. I would advise that if you have in hand once again elephant hide or something like that, that would be perfect. Maybe start in paper. This time, don't go over 15 by 15 centimeters. That would be 6 by 6 inch. Nothing bigger than that. And I actually would recommend even smaller. For example, 10 by 10 centimeters, which would be 4 by 4 inches. And don't go anything smaller than that.
If you have a paper from 15 by 15, you can put on papers from 7.5 by 7.5 in it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So let me show you in my case. This is my memo pad, and just like Jolette mentioned, this one is squares of 7.5 by 7.5 centimeters. So I'll be using a 15 by 15 centimeter square in order to make the memo pad holder for this paper. Okay, so let me change camera once again. And as I do that, let me remind you, this model, as basically all the models I teach, has the Creative Commons license, attribution, non-commercial, no derivatives. So I'm using once again the gradient paper, and like before, it has white on one side and colored on the other, but the paper I'm advising you to use is actually the same color on both sides. And of course, here's my picture-in-picture on the left.
The model starts with a blitz, but as you'll soon see, I made a mistake when teaching, and it's actually on the white side. You can go ahead and do it on that side. The rest of the steps I explained during the meeting are okay.
So the first thing I want to ask from you is on the colored side, we're going to make pinches on the middle of each edge. Oh, Annette, if you are here, I'm happy to see you, and see you on the next time. Bye-bye. I'm doing mountain pinches because they will be much better to see on the colored side. It won't be that useful, if I'm honest, if you are using cami paper. I really suggest that you use a thick paper, a heavier paper, if you are going to use it as a memo pad holder. So let me quickly color on two of those pinches. We're going to use the pinches we just made in order to make a blind space on the colored side. So the folds we are going to make start on one pinch on the bottom, and then pinch that's next to it, in this case on the right. And just like before, when I do blind space or blind fold, I start with soft folds and unfold each time, just to make it very neat once I have all four of them. Okay, so I have the soft folds, and now I'm going to place each one next to the other, just to make sure that they do meet on the center, and fix any mistake I had done in the process. Takes a bit more time, but that way I can avoid creases on the center, and as Svetlana mentioned, I prefer clean models without unnecessary creases. And now I'm folding. Let me even turn the paper over to finish folding. Once you've done that, how do I call it a soft fold? I actually call it just a soft fold. I don't have another name for it. Continuing, let's place the white side, color side once again on top and unfold completely. And let me place it on this perspective. Okay, now we're going to only choose two opposite corners and make a valley fold. Actually, it's only going to be a crease that starts on the very corner and finishes on the crease right next to it, the one that's closest to it. So we're basically bisecting the two corners. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually going to be done on the white side. So let me turn the paper over. And as I mentioned, from this point to this point here. And the opposite one. Remember, it's just these two and not all four of them. And go ahead and unfold. Here I'm on the white side once again, so let me turn it over. We want to be on the colored side. So as you can see, we have creases, 45-degree creases on the top left and the bottom right. We're now going to work on the two opposite corners, bottom left, top right, but we're going to do something very different. What we're going to do is take the top edge. Maybe it'll be easier for me to take the bottom edge. Let's take the bottom edge and align the bottom left corner to the middle point where we had done a crease before. And we're going to fold. Let me show you. I'm not folding yet. This is only to show you. Once we're aligned right there, we're going to fold from the bottom left, but until we meet this crease, the diagonal crease over here, to be exact, the vertex between this 45-degree crease opposite to it and the one that we had done on the step before that started on the corner and connected with this other crease. And nothing more from there. Go ahead and do it and unfold right after that. So if you did that correctly, you have a vertex right over here where three different lines connect. And we're going to do exactly the same, taking once again the bottom left corner. This time place it on the bottom pinch in the middle and going upwards. Once again, until we meet that vertex and nowhere after that, up to here, nothing more. And unfold right after that. So we get this corner square. Let's do the same on the top right. First, to the pinch on the right, and we're going folding to the left. Remember, only to the vertex, and stop right there. And now, the top right corner to the left. To this pinch on the middle right over here, and this time going downwards. You already know where to stop. And nowhere after that. And unfold once you've done that. So how's everyone doing? Is everyone up to this point?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's continue. Now, to be honest, I made that mistake at the very beginning, so I'm going to fix that. It's quite simple. The blinds we had done, we should have done it on the white side and not on the colored side. So I'm just going to change the direction of those creases. So remember, we should have started on the white side of the paper and started with the blank space on the white side. All the rest is okay. Okay. And now let's continue on the white side. Oh, here we have a question. The edge towards the center of paper. And I'm a bit lost. Isbetlina, what do you mean?
Oh, you can unmute.
It's something that sounds like blinks, something like this.
Oh, okay, okay, but okay. In that case, I'll continue. Yeah, well, I've learned the name of this base, folding the corners to the center as the blinks base or blinks fold, because it's looks just like a, if I'm not wrong, a Jewish pastry. There's a Jewish pastry which name is blinks. Okay, let's continue. Now, after that, here we have the ones that, the two corners that have a fold that goes all the way to the corner. Here's one on the top right. And what I want you to do is the 45-degree line from the blinks base. And remember, there's a vertex right over here. All these lines meet. We're going to use that vertex. So I'm putting my fingernail over there and pushing from the top the paper down so that this line from the blinks base, let me draw on it, aligns with this vertical horizontal crease we have on the layer underneath. And once they do align, remember it should start on the vertex right over here. Go ahead and fold all the way to the top left, but don't fold the bottom right. Only from the vertex to the top left, nothing more. Once you do that, you can go ahead and unfold. Here we have the new crease. And we're going to do the same from the same vertex to the right. This time we're aligning from the vertex on the top with the vertical line we have on the bottom layer. And fold from the vertex down. And don't fold anything up, please. Like this. Flatten the paper, and you can go ahead and do the same on the bottom left. So here we have one crease. And let's do this other one right now. Let me rotate the paper so it's easier for me to see. Like this. So once again, remember, it's important that this corner only has the 45-degree line that divides it in half, no more creases. That's why I always mention to stop on the very vertex. This time it's on the top left and bottom right. Once you've done those, you can go ahead and use those creases we just made to lift those corners. So just fold them. And you can even shape this as a corner like this. Go ahead and do that on the opposite side. This is what you should have for now. Let me show it on other perspectives. So it looks a bit like a fish base, but with a lot of space in the middle, and we're not going to lower the two tips. After that, turn the paper over to the colored side and see here a crease that looks like a square. We're going to use those creases to fold the corners inside, and this is going to look a lot like when you're folding a windmill base. So first we're going to fold this horizontal line, but only the part from the square. And we're going to do the vertical line next to it, like this. And remember, we're not going to flatten these tips on the top. So this is I have my paper in my hands and not on the desk. And we're finally going to flatten this corner, kind of a square on top. So this move is a lot like when you're doing a windmill base. Now we're going to do the same on the bottom right. I'm first folding the horizontal one. Now the vertical one, using the creases we already had. And using those creases, I can flatten the corner on top. I hope you do see the similarity between this, what we just did, and the windmill base. In the windmill base, we would have two other corners on top, on the top right and bottom left. We're not that far from finishing. Let me rotate it 45 degrees so we can have one of those white corners close to you. And now, see here the color change and the tip on top. We're going to fold that tip towards you. As you can see, the references are both this color change on the left and right, but also these folded layers on the underneath, these folded edges on the layer underneath, just so we can make a valley fold on top, like this, okay? Once you've done that, we're going to do two more valley folds, this time starting on the very bottom corner of your Memo Pad holder and going all the way up to where that folded tip ended up over here and starting over here. So I'm taking this tip from the right to the left using those 2 points. The very corner and this corner from what we folded just a step ago. And let's do the same on the opposite side on the left. We're folding all of this in the air, and it might be a bit uncomfortable, but it's important that we don't fold the tips on the other side. This is what you should have right now. So is everyone up to this point? How's everyone doing? Looks
Good.
wonderful. Any questions?
We don't see anything in chat, so I think should be okay.
I agree. Okay, let's continue. Next step, we're going to unfold the left and right, and change those folds from valleys to mountains. Make sure that you grab the two layers or the layers together as you do that fold. So you do make a mountain fold and don't make accidentally a inside reverse fold. Like this. And here as well. This is how we will be locking the Memo Pad holder. And this is how it should look as you do that. So if you see all the layers are grabbed because of the mountain fold. So make sure they are grabbed like this, and they aren't folded inside like a inside reverse fold. So you shouldn't be look this type of fan fold. Instead of a fan fold, everything should be grabbed together. And once you've done that, let's also change the direction of this valley fold from the very corner of the original paper and fold it inside this pocket. See that there's a pocket right over here. So we're going to turn it into a mountain fold, but make sure that you're grabbing all the layers together as you do that and fold. Because you might by mistake, you might fold it right underneath the first pocket, and you're not locking anything in that case. So make sure that you're grabbing all the layers together, and it goes all the way to the back. Okay, let's do all those steps on the opposite corner. So we first folded the very corner of the original square down, and we use as reference the folded edge of the layer behind it. And then we folded the right tip to the left from the very corner to the corner of the tip we folded on the step before it. And we do the same on the left. This is how it should look like. And then we change the direction from valleys to mountains. First of the left and right tips, making sure that you grab all the layers together as you do that, so that it does lock. And here in mine, the left one unfolded, so I just fold it once again, like this. And finally, the very corner of the original square, I change it from a valley to a mountain and grab all the layers together, folded inside the pocket. Okay, this is how they should look from underneath, from the back. Turn it over, place it on the desk. Use your fingers to press on those locks so that it really does lock. Make the tips that stick out look nicely. And that's all there is to it. This is Memo Pad Holder. Wonderful, excellent folds. By the way, I forgot to mention when I was teaching wooden box, this is a suggestion. When you fold models for the first time, when you fold other people's models, it's nice to write in writing, write the name of the model and the name of the creator in some part that's hidden. For example, let me show you. It's in Spanish here. Spanish is my first language. So write the name. I invite people to write the name of the model and the name of the creator. So if you keep the fold, 4 years from now, you can, if you forgot the name of those names, you'll be able to remember it. And if you give it as a gift to someone, they'll know more about the model. For example, who created it, and that it's not a traditional model, and that's a person thought about it. For example, all of my folds, I give them to the children's section of the public library, and I always write down the information. Okay, and that's it. The only thing left to do is to test it. So here's my block, my pad of memo paper, and let me place it inside. And it's a perfect fit. So remember, 15 by 15 centimeters for a 7.5 by 7.5 centimeter memo pad, and a 10 by 10 centimeters for a 5 by 5 centimeter memo pad. And smaller is actually better in this case. here is.
Well,
We
thank
need
you.
you,
It's a
Gerardo.
lovely
Muchas
model.
gracias.
Sorry?
My pleasure. I hope people enjoyed it.